Imagine waking up tomorrow morning and realizing you never had to sleep again. No exhaustion, no bedtime, no drifting off during class, no crashing after work, no wasting a third of your life unconscious. At first, it sounds incredible. More free time, more productivity, more entertainment, more life. Human civilization currently revolves around sleep. Entire industries exist because we get tired. Mattresses, coffee, hotels, alarm clocks, pajamas, sleep medication, overnight shifts, even the concept of late night itself. Now imagine removing sleep completely from human biology. What would happen to society? Would humans evolve differently? Would we become more productive or completely miserable? And maybe the strangest question of all. Would a world without sleep actually feel less human? Today, we're exploring the thought experiment. What if humans never needed sleep? Part 1. The most obvious change. Time. The average person spends about 1/3 of their life asleep. If humans live to around 75 years old, that means nearly 25 years are spent unconscious. Now imagine instantly getting all of that time back. A normal 16-hour waking day becomes a 24-hour waking day. That's a 50% increase in conscious existence. The immediate effect would be explosive productivity. Factories could operate non-stop. Offices would never close. Global businesses could function continuously without overnight delays. Students could study longer. Artists could create more. Scientists could research around the clock. The economy would probably skyrocket in the short term. Countries would compete to maximize output. Some people might work 2 careers. Others could spend entire night hours learning languages, building businesses, or mastering skills. A person could realistically become an expert in multiple fields over one lifetime simply because they now had thousands upon thousands of extra waking hours. But there's a darker side hiding underneath all of this. Because once humans can work 24 hours a day, society may eventually expect them to. Part 2. The end of night. Right now, nighttime acts as a natural reset button for humanity. Cities slow down, most people go home. There's a universal pause built into human civilization. Without sleep, that pause disappears. At 3 a.m., highways would still be packed. Restaurants would remain open permanently. Schools and workplaces might run on rotating schedules instead of daytime hours. Rush hour may not even exist anymore because activity would spread across all 24 hours. Entire cities could transform into permanently active mega-environments glowing nonstop with light and movement. Places like New York City or Tokyo already feel alive at night. Now imagine that multiplied across the entire planet. Humanity would effectively become a fully nocturnal and diurnal species at the same time, but psychologically this could become strange very quickly. Right now, sleep creates structure. It separates days from each other. Monday ends because eventually you go to bed. Without sleep, time itself may start feeling blurry. People might lose their sense of routine entirely. Weeks could psychologically melt together. Some humans might intentionally create artificial shutdown periods just to preserve sanity. In a weird way, sleep may be one of the few things forcing modern humans to stop. Without it, many people probably wouldn't. Part 3. Human evolution. If humans evolved beyond the need for sleep naturally, our brains would likely be radically different from what they are today. Sleep currently serves several biological purposes: memory consolidation, emotional regulation, brain cleaning, and physical recovery. Scientists believe the brain actually removes waste during sleep, almost like a nightly maintenance cycle. So if humans no longer needed sleep, evolution would have to replace all those functions somehow. Maybe the brain develops a continuous self-cleaning system. Maybe memories process instantly instead of overnight. Maybe humans evolve micro-rest states lasting only seconds. Animals already show hints of this. Some dolphins rest half of their brain at a time while still swimming. Certain birds can partially sleep during flight. Humans might evolve something similar. Tiny background recovery processes happening without losing consciousness. This could also dramatically affect intelligence. Imagine never feeling mentally foggy, never forgetting things because you were tired, never needing caffeine just to function. Human focus and learning ability could increase enormously. But evolution is rarely free. If humans gained constant wakefulness, we might lose something else in return. Dreams, for example. Dreaming has influenced art, religion, music, literature, and scientific discovery for thousands of years. Some of humanity's strangest and most creative ideas came from dreams. Without sleep, do dreams disappear entirely? And if they do, would human creativity slowly become colder and more mechanical? Part 4. Social life would change completely. Relationships would probably become very different. Right now, most people synchronize their lives around sleep schedules. Families eat dinner together before bed, couples go to sleep together, friends usually share similar active hours. Without sleep, society fragments into endless overlapping timelines. One person might choose to work from midnight to 8 a.m., another might spend nighttime exercising and daytime socializing. You could go days without naturally overlapping with certain friends or family members. Ironically, humans might become less socially connected despite having more free time. There's also another strange possibility. People may begin valuing silence and isolation much more. In today's world, nighttime offers peace. The world quiets down. Without sleep, true silence could become rare. Some people might even pay money for artificial darkness and scheduled, quiet hours just to escape non-stop civilization. Entire luxury industries could emerge around temporary disconnection. Imagine vacation resorts where humans simulate old-fashioned nighttime just to relax. That sounds ridiculous. But honestly, it also sounds believable. Part 5. The negative effects of sleep deprivation. Now obviously, in real life, humans do need sleep, and when we don't get enough of it, the effects are brutal. Sleep deprivation can cause memory problems, weakened immune systems, hallucinations, emotional instability, slower reaction times, and even long-term health risks. After enough time awake, the brain starts malfunctioning. People become irrational, emotional control weakens, decision-making collapses. So for this thought experiment to work, we have to assume humans evolved beyond all of those biological limitations entirely. This isn't humans forcing themselves to stay awake. This is a version of humanity that genuinely no longer requires sleep at all, because otherwise, civilization would probably collapse from exhaustion within weeks. Part 6. Culture, entertainment, and human identity. Entertainment would evolve dramatically in a sleepless world. Streaming services, gaming companies, social media platforms, and advertisers would suddenly compete for 24 straight hours of human attention. There would no longer be an offline period. People might binge entire shows in one sitting because there's no physical need to stop. Gaming sessions could last for days. The internet would become even more dominant than it already is. And honestly, that could be dangerous. Human beings already struggle with overstimulation. Without sleep interrupting the cycle, addiction to entertainment, work, or social media could intensify massively. Some people may become trapped in endless loops of productivity or consumption. Others might reject hyperactive society altogether and live slower, minimalist lifestyles as a form of rebellion. In a strange way, sleep currently protects humanity from itself. It forces every billionaire, athlete, politician, student, and worker to eventually shut down. Sleep is one of the few universal equalizers left. Without it, the pressure to constantly optimize your life could become overwhelming. Why aren't you learning another skill? Why are you resting? You have 24 hours now. That mentality alone could completely reshape human culture. Part 7. Would humans still feel human? This brings us to the biggest question: if humans never needed sleep, would we still psychologically resemble humans at all? So much of human emotion is tied to sleep. Late-night conversations, dreams, falling asleep next to someone you love, staying awake worrying about life, the comfort of resting after a terrible day, even expressions like "sleep on it," "wide awake," "living the dream." All of these disappear. Sleep isn't just biology, it's deeply connected to the human experience. Without it, humanity might become more efficient, but also more alien, more machine-like. Maybe future humans would see sleep the same way we see ancient instincts. Something primitive we evolved beyond, or maybe they'd envy us. Because despite all its flaws, sleep gives life rhythm. It creates endings and beginnings, it forces pauses, it gives the mind time to wander. A world without sleep may accomplish more, but it might also lose something impossible to measure. In conclusion, so what would happen if humans never needed sleep? Civilization would become non-stop, productivity would explode, cities would never rest, human evolution would fundamentally reshape the brain itself, but the deeper consequences might be psychological and cultural rather than physical. Without sleep, humanity may gain more time, while slowly losing stillness, dreams, and the natural pauses that make life feel human in the first place. And maybe that's the strange truth hidden inside this thought experiment. Sleep feels inefficient, but perhaps it's one of the few things preventing human life from becoming entirely mechanical, because sometimes doing absolutely nothing for 8 hours might actually be one of the most important things humans ever evolved to do. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe for more thought experiments and strange questions about humanity, science, and the future.